Hey guys, I'm Chris Buck and a very warm welcome to Friday Fretworks. And this week we're going to be taking a closer look at a guitar which has actually been discontinued now since 2014, and that is the John Mayer signature Fender Stratocaster. Now, the John Mayer Strat was introduced in 2005. Initially, it made available in two colours: three-tone sunburst, as with today's guitar, and Olympic white. However, it's worth mentioning they also did limited runs of charcoal frosted metallic, cypress mica, and shoreline gold. Now, in regard to specifications, the guitar was kind of loosely based on John's own signature Stevie Ray Strat that he bought in 1996. And in that respect, we have a large C-profile neck, rosewood boards, although it's worth mentioning the Stevie Ray Strats do come with Pau-Ferro fingerboard, 21 6105 narrow jumper frets, and the now infamous Big Dipper pickups. Now, so the story goes that the Texas specials that came in John's Stevie Ray Strat were actually incorrectly underwound, giving them a kind of distinctive mid-scoop that you don't necessarily associate with the archetypal set of Texas specials. Clearly, this voicing was something that John was a particular fan of, because come 2003-2004, when it came to speccing out his signature Strat, he had Fender recreate this anomaly or idiosyncrasy in these pickups, and thus the Big Dippers were born. Now, funnily enough, I actually bought a set of Big Dippers, clearly at a time in my life when I had more money than sense, paid an exorbitant amount of money for them, having seen John on the Crossroads 2004 DVD playing City Love, seen that he was playing a Stevie Ray Strat, so having kind of done my research, dug around a little online, found out about them not necessarily being your archetypal set of Texas specials, gone online, found a set of Big Dippers, and paid, as I said, rather through the nose for them. Suffice to say, I installed the pickups in, come to think of it, a couple of different Strats over the years. And as much as I was really a fan of their sound in isolation, they do that sort of chimey Strat thing really nicely. I always struggled to get them to sit particularly well in a band mix, and this was a sentiment echoed by the rest of the guys in the band I was in at the time and various sound engineers. Now, whether this is because they are inherently mid-scooped, or it was just maybe the gear and amp I was using at the time, which was a JCM 800 combo, I think, if memory serves, who knows? However, when it came to actually buying my John Mayer signature Strat a few years later, funnily enough, the first thing I did was actually take the Big Dippers out and replace them with a set of Radio Shop 63s. Didn't really buy the John Mayer Strat for any particular reason other than it came up on eBay for a bit of a song, cheaper than an archetypal kind of US Strat, and it seemed too good an opportunity to pass up. But as I said, when it arrived, the first thing that happened, Big Dippers went out and a set of Radio Shop Vintage 63s went in. Now, I've replaced the Big Dippers for today's video, so I'll actually be intrigued to take the guitar back out once this whole lockdown thing is finished and see if I still have the same problems sitting in a mix. Now, fast forward to 2014, and John Mayer announced via Twitter that he was leaving Fender. Obviously, what later became apparent as a switch to PRS. However, the consequence of which is that his signature Strat was discontinued. Now, while they were available, list price tend to vary a little bit, but more often than not, you're going to be looking around about the £1,700 mark. Since they've been discontinued, the second-hand market, needless to say, has risen slightly. And now, depending on kind of rarity and condition, you'll be looking at between £2,000 and £2,500. Now, in regard to answering the subject of today's video, is it worth the hype? One thing I think is worth mentioning is that I've always been a fan of the John Mayer Strat, primarily for the fact that as signature guitars go, it's pretty subdued, and with the exception of the missing string tree and the signature on the back of the headstock, there's nothing which really obviously or overtly identifies it as a John Mayer Strat from a distance, unless you really know what you're looking for. And I think this sort of incognito element has really meant that you've seen artists like Tom Misch using it without any sense of kind of fandom or irony. Now, in regard to the specs of the guitar, there's nothing that unique about it really, save for the Big Dipper pickups, which thanks to Fender never making them available outside of the John Mayer Strat, you did have to get this Strat if you wanted those pickups. Or, as I did, you could pay through the nose, and generally speaking, you're going to be looking at spending £300 to £400 just on the pickups alone on eBay or Reverb. Now, since that time, needless to say, there's 1,000,001 different boutique pickup companies have popped up all over the world, making, as they claim, the most accurate representation or recreation of the Big Dippers. So I guess in that case, there probably is a strong argument to be made for finding a US Fender Strat whose specs you like and then experimenting with aftermarket boutique pickups. Now, as I said, you're going to be looking at parting with between £2,000 and £2,500 for a kind of run-of-the-mill John Mayer signature Strat. Obviously, in excess, again, of that then, if you're looking at the rarer limited edition colours. So again, you could make a strong case for kind of a more kind of readily available US Strat. But if you are going to part with the cash, safe in the knowledge you will be getting a fantastically well-made guitar that really does nail the tone that John had circa the time he was using this guitar. You can see from the wear on mine how much I've used it. It is a brilliantly well-made guitar. Sounds great, needless to say. I've experimented with various pickups in it, as I said, over the years. But I'll let you make your own decisions and whether you think it is worth the hype. As ever, I've been Chris Buck. Thank you very much for watching Friday Fretworks. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up. I shall see you next week for another video on Friday Fretworks. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you soon.